Oh man, matey, McGonagall. Life is weird, isn't it? You get so caught up in your ego and your problems, and I don't know. It's fucked, isn't it? It's just like when you start seeing when you start having more of a spiritual perspective, it's just like fucking hell, man. Like everything's just a fucking joke. Everything's here to just fucking have fun with. It's just like fucking whoa, cunt. Like I think like it's just the time period. It's just a natural evolution in consciousness that humans have anyway. That we're here, it's a natural evolution to go from suffering to like fucking equanimity. Is that the word? What does equanimity mean? Let me search it up. I can't be fuck, my keyboard's out the way, but yeah, that's the word. Peace. It's like because in this day and age we are brought up with a lot of fucked up things. I mean, like materialism, consumerism, self-righteousness, a lot of egoic patterns that are still based in survival. Like there's like a levels of survival. It starts off with like just need to get my food, need to get my water, stay away from danger that's gonna see me as food. That's the general survival. But as you go up the levels of consciousness, it starts becoming more subtle, these survival things. And what we have now, what survival things we have now is sort of like this social hierarchy, this social status. It's like that's our survival thing. It's like we can see who is like the culture. I'm not fucking explaining anything right here. It's hard to fucking explain what I mean. Like I'm not fully there yet. Albert Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. So I don't understand this fully yet, but I mean, it's like the social status of like as a collective, as a social collective, we put people at a hierarchy. Like you got a poor person here, and then you got like a rich person here. But it's like they're both human. They're both, But we see this as like a better and worse sort of scenario, and it's sort of I don't fucking know what to talk about, but yeah, there are definitely levels of survival. It's not just food and water, like manipulation, lying, like these are all to do with survival. It's not, because what we are an ego, right? And the simplest terms of an ego is just like this organism that wants to survive. So it gets food and water and stays away from danger, to keep their body alive, to keep their whole ego alive. But as you gain more consciousness, then it is, let me backtrack a bit. More primitive organisms living identify with their body, this separate self. I've got to survive from the danger. I've got to get the food and stuff. They're not thinking like this. They're not like, I'm gonna go get some food. And, it's just like natural habit. It's just like their natural instinct, right? But yeah, as you work your way up the consciousness levels, then it starts. We start identifying with our internal thoughts and our emotions, and so, and we're brought up into families and societies and cultures and that, where we are taught that some things are good and some things are bad. And some of it's not based in any sort of fucking actual survival, where we're gonna, if we do something bad, that's bad, that society or your parents have said that are bad, but it's not actually, it's just like fucking brainwashing. That's a survival mechanism. We stay away from that. So there can be emotional triggers coming our way, like something happens and like we could be triggered. Fucking say, what am I trying to say? Lost it now. Emotional triggers. Right, we people lie and manipulate because they want to survive. This is what I'm trying to say. Is that all we're doing is surviving, right? The people out there that you call cunts, that are like, why are you fucking up the world? Look at what you're doing, you idiots. Can you not see what you're fucking doing to the world? Raping and pillaging it. Well, they're doing that because they're surviving, right? That's their upbringing, and they're trying to survive that. If what was I trying to say? Like, sorry guys, bear with me. I'm not so fucking. I need to fucking practice concentration and focus, because I fucking lose track and go into different tangents in my mind, different thoughts, and go into those stories, and like so many pathways in my mind that I go to. I've got to fucking stay focused on this. But you know, people don't, like, if someone's lying to you in a sort of manipulative way, they're not doing it to fuck you up. They're not doing it, like, they may consciously think, I don't fucking know, but they're doing it because that's their survival mechanism. Do you see what I mean? It's like, because if they told the truth, that would, like, fuck up all their boundaries, fuck up all their identity, you know what I mean? So, as like an animal, or like a primitive organism or whatever, survival is just got to nourish this body, got to stay away from danger, right? This body has got to survive. But as we work our way up the levels of awareness and consciousness, we start identifying not just with the body, but with our thoughts and with our emotions, and who we think people think we are and who we think we are. And if any of that is out of line, then we say that's danger. It's all about survival. So people are selfish because they fear. That's simply it. People are not selfish. We've got this sort of, in society, and that we've got this viewpoint of, like, if you're selfish, you're an absolute twat. You're a cunt. Why are you selfish? You could be more selfless. You idiot. But it's because they fear. It's because they're scared of something. It's because they're trying to survive. You know? This is what selfishness is. Like, animals out there, they are selfish. They're surviving for them because, you know, if they were selfless, just like a fucking deer watching a lion come at them, they're just like, I think I'll try and be selfish with this lion, and I think I'll try and get along with this lion. It's like, nah, he's gonna fucking get out of there because like there's no time to be selfless, you know. And I think it's like we've got the wrong attitude towards selfish people because all selfish people are is that they are scared of something. They're fearful of something. So we need to be compassionate towards selfish people. And if we get triggered by selfish people, though, if we're like, fuck's sake, why are you so selfish? That's to do with our own survival. That's to do with our own fears and selfishness. You know what I mean? Like, if we're getting annoyed and triggered by someone who's selfish, that's selfish in its own way, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And to be selfless, if you want to be selfless, you know, this is really the main. This is like the journey to enlightenment, to be selfless, because ultimately, we're all one. I've come from the stars, so have you, so has everything here on Earth. It's come from the stars out there. The stars have come from, you know, it's all come from the Big Bang, and all the Big Bangs come from whatever, and that has come from whatever else. It all is one. It's all oneness. Oneness is the thing. So being selfless is viewing other people and your environment as yourself. Like, treat the environment like it's your body. Treat other people like they're you. Because ultimately, on the deepest fundamental level, they are you, and you are everything. It's all one. So, to be selfless, you got to work on your fears. Like, why am I fearing this certain situation? And it's hard to dive deep into why you fear things because it goes back to your childhood, and a lot of those memories you've forgotten or that you've repressed deep down within you because that was how you would survive, you know. It's like you can't, like, you know, say if you had like a teacher at school that was like, oh, I don't even know, I can't give an example, but it's like it wouldn't be good for your survival to not repress a memory, to not repress a fear. You know, you need, like, I think that we have a lot of memories that we repress because it's easier to do that rather than face it, because we can't face it because we've repressed these memories when we're a fucking child and we're not consciously evolved enough to work on our fears or whatever, so we just accept it and repress it. So when we're like, oh, I gotta work on my fears, it's like, I fear this thing because, why do I fear that? Oh, because of this. And it's like, well, why do I fear that? It's like, fuck, man, what is the root cause? And it's hard because you've repressed memories deep within your childhood. I don't even know what I was getting at, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, it's like these people out here, like politicians and the government, society and culture, with all its fucked up things that make no fucking sense, all based in selfishness. it's out of fear. It's out of survival because they don't know they don't know any other way. And for that, you need to be compassionate. It's the only way forward. You need to be understanding. You know, like, the wrong attitude is, if you're faced with an oppressor or a tyrant, it's like, you'd just want to be like, what the fuck are you doing with the world? You fucking idiot. You're fucking everything up. Look at the fucking world. What the fuck is happening here? Look at everyone's fucking life being tortured. You know, they're not going to fucking do anything to that. That's just going to strengthen their own identity and survival mechanism. But at the same time, if you're like, sort of like, I don't know, like, you really have to be, you really have to understand where they're coming from. You can't have a fake sense of understanding. You can't be like, I understand where you're coming from, man. Like, and all this, like, I don't know, it's just like, you need to really feel internally that you understand what they're going through. And you really need to know and understand why they're doing the things that they're doing. Because if you can't, then you can't have a heart-to-heart conversation with them and wake them up and sort of solve their sort of emotional traumas that have led to them being oppressors. Weird. It's like, I don't know, people never see this. Like, it's annoying to me. That's my selfish survival mechanism. That it's just like people just constantly hate all the oppressors. And it's like, I understand that you do hate the oppressors. I understand that. I know where you're coming from. But hating an oppressor is not going to do anything. You're just spreading more of the problem. Only when you can be full of unconditional love and understanding that you can do anything about it. And that doesn't mean like you don't protest or anything. Like, there's like a book in Ram Dass's Be Here Now where it's like, you can only protest effectively if you love the people you're protesting against as much as you love yourself. And that's what it's about, If you're protesting and then the person, the people, the group, whatever, that you're protesting against comes and you're like, fuck you, cunt, why are you fucking doing this? And asking all these questions, and it's just like, you can tell the negative vibes coming at them. They can sense your negative vibes. It's like, you've lost it, man, because now you're in polarity. Now you're on one side and they're on the other, and it's gonna stay like that. You need to have full understanding of their own views. You have to be fully understanding of where they're coming from. Fuck, man, politics, like, when you see them in there, I've distanced myself away a lot from politics. But, when they're in the fucking room and they're just like fucking children, just like, one's like, yeah, we really gotta do this, and then like people behind them just like laughing, and it's just like, they're just like, fuck, man, really? Like, you need to just sit down and have a conversation of just like, this is my view, what's your view, let's try and understand each other's view and move forward, rather than my view's right, yours is wrong, fuck off, ha 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 ha. Like, fuck, man. I don't even know what I was getting about this. Spiritual perspective. the selfless perspective, the perspective of God, the perspective of the universe, looking at everything, and not trapped in your own egoic survival mechanism. It really puts everything into perspective. It's like, fuck, man. Everything's perfect just the way it is. I mean, yeah, like, people are fucking up the earth. People are fucking ignorant and selfish, and no one understands what they're doing. But that's the way it is at this time. And I think it's very fucking interesting to be born in this time. Because, I mean, like, it's just interesting to be born in this evolution of humanity, the psychological evolution of the human's mind at this point in time. We're here in this part, you know, and it's like, there's no getting away from it, because God has to experience everything. God has to experience World War II up until now, and then up until a future utopia, if it ever happens, if we don't fucking blow ourselves up. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, I'm God, you're God, right? I'm God incarnated as Jasper, as this singular selfish entity in this time period. It's just interesting. Everything's interesting. I don't know. So yeah, it's just really like trying to come back to this spiritual perspective of oneness, and just realizing your infinite nature. It's all so fucking vague. Like, I'm talking about like God and your infinite nature and all this. It's like, whoever's watching this, who the fuck knows what I'm talking about? You know, it's like, it's something that can't be told. You know, you can't teach the truth. The truth has to be realized for yourself. You can't teach someone the truth. They have to find it out through direct experience by themselves. It's the only way, and it's like, yeah, that's hectic, eh? But yeah, I lose it all the time, the spiritual perspective, and then I gain it back, and I lose it, and I gain it back, and I lose it, and I gain it back. You know, it's just like, everyone has the capacity to view life from a spiritual perspective, because everyone knows they're gonna die. And if you know you're gonna die, if you contemplated death 24/7 for years on end, that's all you thought about, nothing else. The death of yourself, the death of your friends and family, how they could be killed if you watched them being run over by a car, if you shot them yourself, all these fucking things. If you just kept thinking about death and all the possibilities of death and what happens after death and what happens before birth and all this, it's like you really gain a perspective of spirituality, because we're not here forever as this incarnation. I don't know. We all have the ability to view life like this, so it's just that people don't like to think about death, because we've been brainwashed into thinking that death is sad. And yeah, it is in a sense. You know, it's like, one day someone's here, the next they're gone. It's like, that's fucking... It's interesting. It's not sad. It's just like, fuck, man. I mean, it is sad to us because it's like we're so attached to a person and then they're gone and it's like, well, fuck. Our relationship is never gonna be anymore. Like, I'll never see their actual face ever again. I'll never feel their presence ever again. Like, it is fucking sad, but I mean, we've got to realise that this is a natural progression of life. And we can't not face it. And if you truly want to be happy, which everyone does, then facing death is the best thing that you can do. Even though it's going to fucking cause a lot of trauma within you, you'll get over that hump if you keep persevering, and you'll be fucking liberated. But I mean, I'm a fucking hypocrite saying this because, you know, it's like, who wants to think about death and shit, you know? It's like, I've got better things to do. But I mean, every now and again I do contemplate it, and I don't know, like contemplate it bits and pieces, and I'll start feeling sad. Like, fuck, man, imagine if my parents died or these people died. Like, fuck, how would I feel? What would I go through? And just like, shit, man. I get really sad and just like, fuck. But then I come out of that eventually, and it's like, fuck, I'm so grateful that they're still here. I'm so grateful that I still have time with them and I can be with them before they die. And I'm a hell of a lot more present. I'm so much more present, which is all what we're aiming for. Happiness and presence, the same thing, really. So if you want to be happy, the counterintuitive move is to think about death. Because it really puts things into perspective, and it shows you how grateful you can be and how present you can be and how loving you can be. Death teaches you love. Death is the biggest teacher, the best teacher for love. Death is the best teacher. Full stop. Sometimes we don't want to think about death. It's like, man, calm down, man. Think about death. And it's like, you really want to fucking make me think about death when I've got this fucking homework assignment due tomorrow and I've done nothing? It's like, don't worry, man. You're gonna be dead soon. Just chill out. When you're in that mindset of just like these egoic needs and survival, it's like, I've got to do this. I've got to get this work done. I've got to do all sorts of shit. It's like, nah, like, death doesn't come into my mind. You know, I can't think about that right now. I don't know, it's just strange. It's like, this video's been fucking all over the place. But it's a video. Let me just ground myself. Ground was in me. Yeah, it is quite hard to, in this day and age, in this psychological evolution of the human mind, when you are in a state of thinking all the time and thinking about what you've got to do, thinking about where you are and what you've got to be weary of, it's hard to start thinking about nothing and just going, Death is gonna happen. The future is not now, the past is not now, now is now. Let me just be here now. The best advice is to be here now. However, people will go, okay, I'll try that. Even 5-10 minutes passes, like, I can't, like, that's shit. I don't want to be here now. Like, I don't like it here now. I want to be doing something else, you know. They're not satisfied with now. But that's because they're still thinking about, I don't know. But yeah. It's funny because, like, my goal in life is to be present, you know, is to be in a state of presence. And it's like, I'm looking at the future. It's like, I can see my future self, like, learning all these spiritual teachings and all this. It's like, I can see myself in the future being so present and all this. And it's like, I could be doing that right now. Like, the present is here, or waiting for me. Like, I don't have to do it in the future. I don't have to, like, get things done and then I can be present. I can do it right now. No matter what is happening in your life, you can do it. If you're going through the fucking wars, people have died in your family, you got heaps of shit due, fucking people hate you, and it's a fucking chaos. Your whole fucking world's a chaos. You can still be present. It's gonna be fucking harder, but you still have the opportunity to be present. You still have that. You know, it's always here, and it's waiting for you, and it's not judging. It's not saying, when are you gonna fucking come into the present? It's always here, just waiting for you until you're ready. I don't know, guys, what I'm saying, but fuck, I'm gonna upload this, and then I'll fucking watch it like fucking 10 years down the line and be like, fuck, man, what was I? Who was I? I don't know. Oh, fuck. Well, I might not even be alive in 10 years. Who knows? I hope I am. I'm digging this life. Even though I have my downtimes and negative aspects, it's like there's always positives and there's always awareness, and that's what I like. So yeah, I do hope I live till an age that is long. You know, I'd like to live a long life. Anyway, see you guys next time.